What is going on, guys? With an E here, back with another League of Legends video. This time it's the patch 8.6 rundown. It's quite a big patch, so I'm just going to get straight into it. So straight off the bat, Duskblade of Drakthar changes. They're basically going to be reducing the damage that the proc does because they're finding it too hard to balance assassins. They feel like for this item to do what it's been doing, they have to take damage away from the assassin's kit. So that means they kind of depend on Duskblade to do the damage. So they want to reduce the damage and look at the assassins themselves and try and balance the assassins over like not having to build just Duskblade at first item every game to do their job. But they are adding in a passive where you can one-shot a ward. So it's kind of less about you need to do this to assassinate someone, build this, sorry, to assassinate someone, and more about the whole vision denial as an assassin, which is kind of what the item aim was when it first came out. Graves is alright at the moment. I feel like these buffs are going to definitely be what he needs, because obviously as tank junglers start to go out the meta more and more through various nerfs, the carry junglers are also getting buffs like Kayn and Graves. So I feel like this is pretty much the last thing they're going to do to him, and this will be good, because you're getting base attack damage growth, base magic resist growth, and the W wind up is reduced, but also now applies the vision reduction quicker. So this spell is actually doing what it's meant to do a lot quicker than what it was before. So this is nice for Graves. What you've also got to remember is some of these buffs are to help with the fact that they're losing damage from Duskblade, as I said in my last patch rundown. Or PBE rundown, sorry. So Kayn's W and R ratios are being increased. This is actually going to help blue Kayn a lot more than red Kayn, obviously, because you build more bonus attack damage on blue Kayn than you do red Kayn. Red Kayn's alright at the moment. Blue Kayn is struggling to find a time where it's needed, really. Unless you're stupidly snowball, then it's not really worth it. Kha'Zix's base damage down, AD ratio up, isolated AD ratio up, and isolated damage up. Okay, so they're basically just, as I said before, trying to make him more around this isolated champion where if he catches you on your own, he's going to blow you up. This is good. And also reducing the his clear, which is fine as well. I feel like Kha'Zix shouldn't really be doing much more apart from a pick champion. He shouldn't really be able to teamfight too efficiently, and he shouldn't really be able to clear very efficiently, as he's an assassin, and that can lead to some bad shit going down on Summoner's Rift. Misfortune attack damage growth. She hasn't been great the last few patches, ever since all those nerfs to her poke and her E and, well, her poke. She really has been struggling a bit, but Duskblade's also getting a nerf, and she does build it sometimes. This is, attack damage growth is nice, especially when she's getting 18 at level 18. It's nice and rounded. So this is good. It's gonna keep her. She's not gonna be top tier or anything, but she will be playable without having to worry about whether you're just gonna lose the game because of your pick. Nocturne damage. This is a weird one because obviously Nocturne relies so much on Duskblade that you have to really look at the numbers to figure out whether it's a buff overall or a nerf overall. But this is to kind of help him with obviously his ultimate combo. But this is adding more damage to his first initial damage. Rather than ulting and then having to auto attack, now it's more on his ultimate. So in turns, you're taking more damage before you flash. So I feel like this is a buff purely because the power creep is once again going up on his ultimate. So it's interesting. I don't feel like this is the right way to go about it. Nerfing Duskblade, sure, but then if you're going to just buff his ultimate base damage and ratio, it seems like it's kind of negating why you nerfed the proc damage on Duskblade to let it be more to be more fair and balanced and all that stuff, because it's all going to be doing damage in one instance. So I feel like this is a buff, but we'll have to see, obviously. Rengar Q damage ratio increased, E damage ratio increased, R damage ratio increased, and bug fixes. So Rengar, since his revert, has not been great. I've seen him played more tank top than anywhere else, which is obviously not where they want him to be. They don't want Rengar to be a tank, they want him to be an assassin. So they're giving him more AD ratios everywhere, pretty much. So this will help him when he's building AD. Tank Rengar will be the same. So we'll just have to see, really. Okay, so Shaco Q's damage now grants Shaco's next basic attack bonus physical damage. So Shaco's next basic attack after Deceive now also deals X amount plus it. It's quite similar to what it was before, right? It always had an empowered auto attack. I thought so anyway. This is alright though, because he's losing Duskblade, so it's kind of just to make up for that. Talon passive damage up through levels, unchanged level 1 to 11, up later, and his ultimate AD ratio is up to 1 now. So once again, Talon, obviously a lot of these champions haven't been great for a while, so they do want these to, I feel like they want these to end up being a buff. I don't see why not, but this is alright when you take into account the fact that you're losing 100 damage on his Duskblade. It's kind of hard for me to say that this is a buff, but we'll have to see. He is losing a lot of damage. If you got 200 AD, he's only getting an extra 40 damage. We'll have to see. Not including his passive, obviously. Wukong, also another champion that relied on Duskblade for bursting champions, and he's not been great for a long time, so AD growth and ratio on his Q. That's fine. This is interesting. Now this is very interesting, because Q damage beyond the first decreased, so to targets beyond the first, decreased, but landing multiple shurikens on the same target no longer deals reduced damage. So it means that if you hit a few shurikens on a target when you've ulted them, they should be dead. It's going to be dealing full damage on each shuriken. So for good Zeds, this is going to be very, very nice. And death marks, stored damage is 55% from 45%. That's also good. These are buffs. Just remember, once again, as I'm going to keep saying, Duskblade nerfs means that this is just making up for that. And obviously, I feel like this is another one where it's going to be a buff if you hit your shurikens. Okay, Kai'Sa, a champion that is getting a lot of buffs, and I don't know if she needs all of this, because I've been playing her a lot and I win a lot more than I lose on her, but it could be because people don't understand how to play against it. But then why has she got such a low win rate? Anyway, let's get through this. So a lot of people's problem with Kai'Sa is the early game. So one thing to remember is Rageblade is getting a lot of changes, and I built Rageblade on her pretty much every single game, so that could be another reason why she's getting so many buffs. But we'll see, because I don't think Varus or kog'maw has any buffs to make up for it. Attack range up, because people feel like she gets bullied too much in the early game. Stack ratio is now up. Detonation ratio is also now up, making people feel like they should build ability power, because I don't feel like building ability power on her to evolve her W is worth it. But we'll have to see. Q dealing more damage once you've built some AP again. So really this is just incentivizing players to build AP on Kai'Sa, which I feel like is not worth it at the moment. W nerfs, but when you take into account the buffs to her passive and it applies passive damage, this is actually dealing more damage as before when you've evolved it, so that's fine, and the same amount of damage before it's evolved, so that's fine, that's good. Now E supercharge, I feel like they're reducing the cast time, right? Yeah, they're reducing the cast time and giving you more movement speed and minimum movement speed and maximum movement speed, just so you get the same amount of like distance traveled from her E, but it's over a shorter period of time, so you can fight faster. Because the E is a weird mechanic. It's a good mechanic, but it's a little bit awkward to play around sometimes, especially considering you want to be using it quite frequently because of the cooldown going down every auto attack. And her ultimate radius is up, and you get the shield on cast, and you get it for 3 seconds after the dash ends, instead of having to complete the dash to get the shield, because that's something that annoyed me personally when I was playing with her, trying to get a... If you get, say you get caught or something, you can shield for the ult for the shield and the gap closer and then duel them, but you only get it if you complete the dash, which was whatever. Lucian got hit really hard by the tracker's knife buffs. He's still going to struggle for wards, but this is nice. As Gripex has said, probably the best Lucian player on EU. As he said, he really likes the sound of these buffs, and I think he's going to be looking at more of a assassin style Lucian. Damage Lucian is definitely going to be better. This is a buff I haven't seen before. This is interesting. That kind of changes a decent amount. Oops, sorry. So yeah, as Gripex says, I feel like this is a good buff. This is what he needs. When it was initially this, not so much, but all of this is good. This is good for Lucian. Can imagine him being playable in the jungle again. Now, Lucian. As a Lucian main, I've been waiting for buffs for him for ages. He's been getting a little bit of love recently, but this should be the buffs that is finally like gonna put him back. Not on top, but top 5 maybe. Base damage on W all ranks. That's really good. Press the attack, as they say before. Buffed him, but he could still use a little bit more damage. Ratio per shot is up by 0.05, but the max ratio is up by 1.25 and 1.5 at each rank. So that's just kind of easier numbers to think about when it comes to his damage. So he is getting a decent amount of damage when it comes to his total AD on his ultimate now. Feel like you still won't be going back to Bork Black Cleaver, even though it is my favourite build, mainly because mana problems. You need the Essence Reaver. But yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'm going to make a video about this later on, after I've played a lot of them. Quinn, base attack damage decreased, attack damage increased. Basically just trying to make her not a lane bully, but scale a bit better. Loads of bug fixes, and I feel like the main one here is that you will always get your ultimate in base when you've backed. Okay, so Rakan, he's alright at the moment, but apparently Rakan is struggling. But he's definitely not struggling when you play him with Xayah, so let's see what they do about this. AP ratio increased, E range increased, but decreased when it comes to Xayah, so it's all the same, but just buffing him on his own. And then the Xayah W, when paired with Rakan, means that the Xayah Rakan lane gets nerfed a tiny bit, but Rakan gets buffed, and Xayah is unchanged when not with Rakan. This item, when you're a support and you want your squad to go in. With the removal of Talisman of Ascension, the support item landscape was missing their everybody in item since we were remaking it anyway. We took a look into at who we wanted picking this up. Ultimately, we wanted to make sure it wasn't super attractive to tanks. They already have Righteous Glory, but felt good on most supports. So you build it from an Aether Wisp Kindle Gem 450 gold. You get 40 ability power, 20 health, 10% cooldown reduction, 8% movement speed, and the unique active 40% movement speed for 3 seconds. This is a weird one. I was hoping this would be like a thresh item. The 40 ability power he can use, but when I think of this item, I think of people like Sona and Karma, people with AoE speed buffs already, just to really all in on that speed boost. We'll have to see how this goes. I don't feel like this item's going to be too great, but we'll have to see, because it does allow people to all in as a team, which isn't a problem as such, but there aren't too many champions with super hard engage at the moment who are good. It's quite a rarity to have, and that means the games go on really long sometimes, and like no one really has a clear win condition. So this allows people to buy this item and kind of have a bit of hard engage, maybe paired with a Sivir. Who knows? Okay, this item, they're basically nerfing it for champions like Ryze and Cassio and all that, and they want it to be built on tanks like Maokai, Gragas, like Nautilus, people who are actually going to be in melee range. But it is a buff to those champions, but it is a nerf to everyone else, really, any mage, which is kind of understandable, because this item was never meant to be, I'm a mage and I'm going to make myself do more damage whilst being really tanky. It was meant to be, I'm a tank, I want to be tanky, and I want myself and my team to deal more damage. No longer counts as a spell for the purpose of electrocute. Okay, that's weird, but that's fine. Seraph's Embrace nerfs. Shield ratio is going down from current mana, and shield duration also down. That's fine. It's really, really strong at the moment. Paired with this, we're probably going to be seeing the end of Ryze being the best mid laner in competitive play. Cassio is also going to be hurt by these changes. Zoe builds Seraph's Embrace, but she can also build Ludens, so that's fine. Like, it's just because this item is really strong. But the main ones that are going to be suffering are Ryze and Cassio, and Ryze has been on top for a while now, so I mean it's only fair that other people. Oh, also Victor is going to be hurt by these changes, but obviously once again not as much as Ryze. Okay, Deadman's Plate. Slow is now magic damage instead of physical. That's fine. I guess it means it scales a little bit better. Users are no longer lose stacks when slowed. Now consumes all momentum on basic attacks, even if it's at less than max stacks, dealing damage per momentum consumed. The slow only triggers at max stacks, and basic attacks now locks out momentum generation until your attack timer resets. Are they buffing the slow? No, not too much. Quality of life buffs, I feel like, but not too much. Okay, Gwynce's Rageblade. R.I.P. Varus, kog'maw. It was nice, but Jesus, this is not nice. Okay, so it's cheaper, so it's nice for an ADC. Until you see that the attack damage is getting nerfed, the ability power is getting nerfed, the magic damage on hit is nerfed with an AP ratio, which doesn't help them really. Like, you're now only getting 25 ability power, so you're getting 7.5. 7.5 magic damage on hit, and the same goes for physical damage. You're getting ability power per stack, which kind of helps a bit, but it's 4%, 8%. So and 4%, sorry. So like it's probably not as good as on people that don't build ability power anymore, unless people are going to be building a physical damage as well. Like it's not as good on attack speed stackers like Varus, like kog'maw. It's only as good when you've got like an Infinity Edge, when you've got a Bloodthirst, just a lot of physical damage items. Ability power items on ADCs are not a thing unless your name is Kaiser. Like this is going to hurt them for sure. Also, now half stacks melee champions, next basic attack fully stacks the item. I thought they'd increase the amount of stacks needed to get it to max stacks. Apparently not. That is good, but this is definitely a nerf to Varus kog'maw, because obviously you're just losing so many stats. You're now getting percentages as well. I imagine this is going to be good on champions like Kale. No, not a fan. Not a fan. Kaiser is going to like this though. Hextech GLP 800. The item's still weak, so they're going to make it cheaper. They're basically going to keep buffing this fucking item until everyone is building it. Give it the Seras treatment, because they don't like that they messed up with the item rework and it changed nothing. Static Shiv now no longer deals extra damage to minions. There is too much wave clear in the game. I feel like you don't have to draft wave clear, and you have wave clear. So this is fair. This is fine, especially when they are buffing the damage to rapid fire cannon to make up for this. This is fine. You can still stack both items as well, so the combo is still going to be just as strong, but 2 item, i.e. Static Shiv, is going to be less powerful, less wave clear, less damage. It's fine though. Ignite buff, the damage is actually going up at every single rank, which is fine, until you see they're also nearly giving heal the same cooldown as flash. Especially when Ignite is 210, 210 seconds cooldown. This gives them a minute where you can all in without heal. So Ignite counters heal. I don't feel like both of this is needed, but catch me running cleanse or barrier in bot lane now, because you can cleanse the Ignite and everyone's going to be taking it. New keystone. When you're in combat for 4 seconds, I believe, yeah. After in combat for 4 seconds against an enemy champion, you get 10 to 35 attack damage based on level for 3 seconds, and it converts 20% of your damage that you're dealing to the champion to true damage. Now, melee champions basically get this forever if they're attacking people, which is wonderful. This isn't going to be good on ADCs though. It's 4 seconds is too long. ADCs can't normally be in combat for 4 seconds unless you're ahead. Like, being in combat for 4 seconds as an ADC is way too long. But we'll see. Bone plating nerfs, good. It's seen everywhere. It's fucking annoying. Everyone's tanky. Kind of completely defeats what they're trying to get rid of, but at the same time they're trying to get rid of pokes, so that's fine. But when it's taken on ADCs and supports, and it's just fucking AIDS. It's not great. Sorry. Krista Chrysalis. This is where you get 60 HP, and once you've got 4 takedowns, so 4 kills or 4 assists, you consume it and get 9 attack damage and 15 ability power. And they're getting rid of Iron, Skin and Mirror Shell, so that's also fine. And then Twisted Tree Line. Is this twist? Yeah. No one cares. One for All coming back. You can now ban champions. Honor. The path to Dishonor is a bit harsh, but they're still making it impossible to get Honor. Parties level up, no one cares. Voice chat. Great. We're going to be able to hear everyone. That's great. And then Gun Goddess Misfortune, Pizza Delivery Sivir, Birdio Galio, and Hextech Alistair. Nice skins, good job. I like them all. People are complaining too much about this skin. It's cheaper than an ultimate skin. Calm down. Like, just if you don't like the skin, don't buy it. But I think it's a good skin. And a load of chromas. Oh, and this. So that's the patch rundown. Overall, a decent patch. Some love to assassins. Nerf to ADCs with 2 items when they build Shiv. Overall, it's fine. Good patch, not too much changes, but assassins get some love and they've been out of the map for way too long, so it's deserved. But that's the end of the video. Tell me what you guys think I can improve on when it comes to this. This is a long video and I'm really sorry about that, but it's a big patch. What can I do, eh? What can I do? But this is it. Tell me what you think of the patch. Oh, sorry. Tell me what you think of the patch as well. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like in the comment below, in the comment section below. Let's start a little debate and talk about these changes. But that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.